We all dream of the ideal nanny, someone like Mary Poppins. Samantha Miller felt the same way, but never expected that hiring a nanny would turn into such a disaster. What was happening in the Miller household that made all their nannies vanish? What secret was hidden behind the camera's eye? Discover what Samantha uncovered that changed her life forever. But before we begin, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and enable notifications so you never miss another story. Samantha welcomed a nanny into her home. At first, everything went smoothly until one day the nanny abruptly resigned without giving any clear explanation. This was not an isolated incident. Samantha experienced the departure of no less than 6 nannies in a row, all leaving without any apparent reason. Determined to understand the mystery, she knew something had to change. To understand what happened, we need to go back to the start. Samantha's marriage had been in trouble, and she decided to leave her husband to raise her children on her own. It was a tough choice, and soon reality caught up with her. Exhausted and overwhelmed, she realized she could not manage everything by herself. Like any ordinary mother, she struggled with daily tasks and needed extra help. There was no alternative but to keep her full-time job, since she required money. And as her children grew, their needs increased. Balancing her career and motherhood was challenging, and she knew that only an extra set of hands could help. She had 2 wonderful children, her daughter Lily, who was 6 years old, and her son Ethan, who was 1 year old. After searching for the perfect candidate, Samantha found Hannah and instantly felt that she was the right fit. Hannah was hired as the children's nanny, and finally, Samantha could focus on her work. Little did she know that Hannah's stay would be short-lived. Hannah soon became a part of the family, and for the first time in a long while, Samantha felt at ease. However, she was unaware that things were about to change, and that finding a reliable nanny was far from simple. In the beginning, Hannah's presence was a godsend. She took the kids to school, accompanied them to their friends' houses, and helped out with household chores. Then one day, Samantha received a shocking text from Hannah. It was the last thing she expected. Hannah simply asked for the money she was still owed and explained that she wasn't planning to return. Without offering any reasonable justification, Hannah quit on the spot. Samantha was left puzzled about what had caused Hannah's sudden decision. Were the children too difficult? Was she underpaid? After taking her final paycheck, Hannah left, and Samantha was forced to investigate while also having to hire a new nanny. Later on, during a conversation with Hannah, she mentioned that Lily, the 6-year-old daughter, was the main issue because she was simply too hard to handle. Samantha believed that Hannah's excuse was fabricated on the fly. Hannah was a professional, and typical tantrums or misbehavior from a 6-year-old should not have justified her departure. Samantha refused to accept this explanation and kept looking for another nanny. She found a second candidate, but before Samantha could feel relieved, that nanny resigned as well. Then came the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. After the 6th nanny left, Samantha knew it was time to take action. It almost sounded like a twisted joke or a scene from a science fiction film. But 6 different nannies had abandoned her children for reasons unknown. Kids can be challenging, and hers were no exception. However, after experiencing the loss of 6 nannies, Samantha decided she had to try something new before inviting a 7th nanny into her home and her children's lives. She installed hidden cameras throughout the house to finally reveal what was really going on behind closed doors. Unsurprisingly, the outcome for the 7th nanny was no different from the others. She began working, but within 2 weeks, she submitted her resignation without offering any detailed explanation, simply stating that things were not working out. Samantha, having recorded everything on her camera, was now able to see exactly what was occurring in her own home. What the camera captured left Samantha stunned and horrified. The more she reviewed the footage, the more amazed she became. She couldn't believe her eyes and kept rewinding the tape. Was this really her nanny? Was she secretly witnessing her daughter's true behavior? What was happening? Suddenly, Samantha realized there was more to the previous nanny's claims than she had imagined. She discovered sides of her daughter that she had never seen before. During the initial days with each nanny, little Lily was the perfect angel, the same angel Samantha had always known and loved. But as time went on, that angel transformed into a little monster, someone Samantha barely recognized. The first clear sign of this change occurred when Jane, the seventh nanny, asked for assistance, and Lily snapped back, "You cannot tell me what to do, I am in charge here." This new tone and choice of words that Lily began using became a regular occurrence with all the nannies. Every time she was asked to wash her hands, get ready to leave, or turn off the television, she responded like a rebellious teen. Samantha lost her temper. She was so upset with her daughter and wished she had known about this behavior sooner so she could have handled it differently and prevented the repeated departures of the nannies. The most painful moment came when she witnessed Lily throwing a tantrum and defying her nanny while Ethan slept. This situation must have been extremely difficult for any nanny, even someone like Mary Poppins. Lily continued by threatening to get the nanny fired, a self-fulfilling prophecy that only made matters worse. Realizing that something had to be done, Samantha sat down with her daughter for a serious talk. She told Lily that she had seen everything on the camera and asked if she believed her actions were acceptable. In her innocent way, Lily explained that if they paid the nanny, then they could give her orders, and if they hired her, the nanny would have to listen. Samantha was utterly shocked. Where on earth was Lily learning such ideas? Who was influencing her twisted sense of authority? Determined to teach her a lesson, Samantha decided to punish Lily, hoping to show her that every action has a consequence. The following week, Lily was scheduled for a swimming lesson, but with no one to accompany her, Samantha blamed her for the absence of a nanny. Was this a fair punishment for a 6-year-old? Despite feeling frustrated and disappointed, Samantha wondered if this would truly help Lily learn a valuable lesson. In a bid for advice, Samantha shared her experience in an online parenting group, hoping someone might offer insight into the problem. To her relief, several parents commented, making it easier for her to understand the situation. One mother mentioned that the first nanny had not been assertive enough and had confronted Samantha about her struggles with Lily. Another parent suggested that Hannah, the first nanny, might have spread negative stories about the Miller family, causing the next nanny to arrive with a biased view of the children. One babysitter also chimed in. Samantha was encouraged when she received a professional reply from Rachel Davis, who was very open and honest. Rachel explained that perhaps Lily was simply going through a phase in which she was expressing a need for attention in an unusual way. Maybe she felt threatened about losing her position in the household and wanted to secure her place. Rachel added that Lily might have felt ignored and misunderstood. She pointed out that Samantha noticed disappointment in Lily's eyes, which was hard for her to accept. Samantha began to wonder whether her approach to disciplining Lily was effective. Instead of canceling Lily's swimming lesson as punishment, perhaps she should have explained why having a nanny was necessary. Samantha realized that Lily needed someone to talk to in a language she could understand, rather than just having changes imposed upon her. Samantha recognized that she needed to be more sensitive to her daughter's emotions. She started feeling partly at fault for both Lily's behavior and the constant turnover of nannies, admitting that Lily simply craved more time with her mother. Lily was not feeling emotionally secure, and Samantha was not providing the reassurance she needed. After reading Rachel's advice, Samantha began questioning whether Lily's actions were acceptable or if she had contributed to the problem. Rachel's insights shifted her perspective. Raising children is not only about enforcing good behavior, but also about truly listening. Listening means understanding both what is said and what is left unsaid, noticing body language and helping children express their feelings. Rachel stressed that when children struggle to articulate themselves, it becomes the parent's duty to guide them. Since even adults can have trouble communicating, children require extra support in managing their emotions. As a parent, you have to take on the role of an investigator, digging deep until you uncover what your child really needs. Was Samantha the one who was at fault, or should Lily be forgiven? Samantha still wondered how a little girl could believe she was the boss of everyone. There had to be some influence behind this behavior, for there was no other explanation for a 6-year-old to assume such authority. Lily was far too young to understand the dynamics between cost, employer, and employee. This incident certainly opened Samantha's eyes. After reading through the responses to her post, she searched online for advice on what to do before hiring a new nanny and learned there were important steps to take before introducing a new person into her children's lives. The first step, which made her feel regretful, was realizing she had overlooked something so basic. Sometimes the simplest matters slip right past you. The first rule is to allow for digestion time. It is unrealistic to expect children to instantly accept change. They need time to understand, process, and come to terms with it. Instead of preparing Lily for the arrival of a new nanny, Samantha had simply announced that a new nanny would come the very next day. What she discovered was that at least 1 week is necessary for a child before major changes are introduced. They need time to ask questions, debate, and most importantly, to understand why things are changing. Samantha then found additional advice that any parent should consider before hiring a new nanny or babysitter. Make the new nanny feel like part of the family even before they start working. Invite them over for dinner, meet them in the park, or do any activity together with the prospective nanny. This will help the child accept the new person into their life more easily. The day the new nanny or babysitter arrives will be less stressful for both the parent and the child. If you choose to invite the new nanny to dinner, turn it into an event and do not end it once the meal is over. Bring out your favorite games and spend time playing Pictionary, charades, or any fun activity. This not only lays the foundation for the relationship between the nanny and the child, but also gives you an idea of how the nanny interacts with your child. Give the future nanny a preview of what to expect and how the day will unfold. Children do not appreciate surprises, and neither do nannies. Plan the day as if it were a normal day, but allow the nanny to take on the duties that will be part of her role, whether it is preparing dinner, bathing the kids, or reading a bedtime story. Kids appreciate routine and familiarity. It helps keep them calm. Now you can see why many children cling to their favorite blanket until they are ready to let it go. When you go to the park, bring a favorite toy car. When planning a trip to the playground, pack a beloved book. This reassures the child that even though there might be a new person in their life, most things will remain unchanged. The arrival of a new nanny can cause insecurity in children. One way to help them is to make them feel important and in control. When the new nanny or babysitter visits for the first time or during the first play date, let your child show the nanny around the house, pointing out where the snacks are kept in the kitchen and where the towels are stored in the bathroom. However, it is crucial not to overdo this and to clearly define where the child's responsibilities end. The last thing you want is for your child to act like a tiny boss, as Lily did. This is among the most challenging pieces of advice to follow, because it can be hard for a child to understand that house rules apply no matter whether their parents are around. Your child needs to know that the new nanny is in charge. Homework. must be done, dishes need to be cleared, and shoes should not be worn on the sofa. Give the new nanny your trust. Without it, your future relationship with her and with your child may be at risk. While we do not advocate for constant punishment, sometimes a bit of personal time is necessary. Your babysitter should be allowed to give your child some space, and your child must understand that too. The nanny should have the authority to resolve issues as they arise, and by empowering her, you create a healthier, more secure environment for your child. This encapsulates the role of the new nanny. It does not guarantee a life free of difficulties for your child, the nanny, or you, but it certainly sets the stage for a positive, lasting relationship. Poor Samantha had to learn the hard way, going through more than 6 nannies before she realized her own mistakes. Since then, she has learned to communicate, listen, and create a warm, secure, and open home for her children. Remember, the unspoken messages are often the most significant. Do not let them go unnoticed. The story of how Samantha became a better mother can offer valuable lessons to any parent. Thank you for reading. If you enjoyed this story, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another tale.